they be saying. That's why my team's who I spend day to day with. It's on us when I send the payment. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing, it's stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag, I'll run away quickly. Trying to get rich, but they dying to 50. Ducking these trends, I don't like what I'm seeing. They jumped the fence, but the grass wasn't greener. No one warned them about the wolves and hyenas. Eggshells, gotta watch how you treat us. Shaking hands, a part of doing business. Make a promise, make sure that you deliver. Good business, only way it continues. Money matters and you need the credentials. Coming straight up, Arbor's gon' bring issues. My time is prices, don't like to misuse it. And only you can't have, do it. If we started, we gon' see it through. Can't just talk, you gotta show the proof. My interest is making these money moves. Not running my mouth and not coming through. Let's run up the back, I need something new. I'm high on the bills, I want them blue. You want me to work, I'ma need it soon. They all in the way, we gon' need some room. Locked in and focused like missiles on cruise. Going non-stop, I got something to prove. Playing with us, you gon' definitely lose. Never slow down, cause I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing, it's stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag, I'll run away quickly.
We're back in the studio with Dumb Discussion. We have Matthew, Daniel, and me here. We a little bit changed our positions, so it can get weird because we are not used to sitting right in front of each other. But yeah, the first thing that I wanted to start with, and a little bit kind of a warm up that we can have, is what are your guys' New Year's resolutions for maybe yourself, or maybe specifically the show that we have, or maybe you guys have some sort of advice to each one of us. I don't know. Daniel, do you want to start?
I'll start it off, yeah. So I'm going this year. I'm going to live by a Kobe quote that I
Kobe, yeah.
24. I didn't even think about that, but that's perfect. You know,
the greatest ever.
Kobe said, "Put all your eggs in one basket," which is counter to the old adage, which is don't put all your eggs in one basket. But if you put all your eggs in one basket, there's no turning back. So I'm going all in. I'm researching. I'm hitting up people. I'm trying to get quotes for our pregame, halftime, and postgame show. Beach basketball today. I'm going all in on researching this show. You know, that's my mentality. I've been eating cleaner in the new year, so I'm gonna keep. Yeah. No, I was like stress eating last semester. Okay.
Wow.
No, not even. Yeah, so I was like.
My mic was very close to my face. But anyways, that was the first blooper of the year.
Yeah, so I'm just going.
I used to make like a contemplation of all of us like falling and making mistakes. But
Do we got that TikTok app set up yet?
I don't think so.
Well, shoot. Yeah. Well, we'll make a mark at
Matthew,
1 minute into the show.
Advices for me or Matthew for this year?
About life. I'm still
here.
trying to figure out life. Yeah, I am the old one, but I'm still in the same spot that y'all are in. But yeah, you know, hey, just dedicate yourself to your craft. You know, I can only just do what I do.
What about you, Matthew?
To continue on that statement, Kobe said, create more eggs, or put all eggs in one basket and create more eggs. So yeah, I like that quote because I remember Iman Shumpert said that in the interview, and I think something that I'm looking for this year is just to expand the show to a bigger audience. Hopefully touch more people, whoever's listening and watching on YouTube, and you know, create more laughs and more great moments throughout the year as the season goes on over and over again.
Oh, I don't think Elle's mic is on. I just got a text message saying that.
Well, Oh my god, that's so bad because people probably didn't hear us do the
Whoops.
intro and stuff, but it's okay. I speak loud enough so people can hear.
There we go.
Are we all good now? Okay,
we're all
great.
set.
Sorry
Guest
for
two-
all the.
guest two is on.
I mean, it's a little bit
we
of.
are live.
Yeah, we are live now.
Live radio.
There are a lot of technical difficulties going on right now, but that's okay because it's just the beginning. We're warming up. My New Year's resolution for the show is probably going to be for sure extend the audience and maybe I would say less hate because I've heard people tell me that I say a lot of hateful things, but like, can't do anything about that. It's just the way I portray things and the way I speak. Some people don't like that, but it's okay. Don't.
Hey, but just do you.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
what I'm saying. Anyways,
At the same time, I see what you're saying. You know,
Yeah,
don't
it's just,
default to negative. There's
I'm
always a
not.
silver
I'm not doing the
lining.
negative. It's just the lens that like. I would say it's my lens of seeing things. Just a little blunt, and people don't like that. But I'm gonna do me. So.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yep.
no, that's good, you know. And like, so there's something. There's a video online. It's a guy named Jocko Willink, and he's an old Navy SEAL. He's got a video called "Good," and it's
Oh.
basically like, you know, he had some guy reporting to him, telling him about all the problems. It's like, oh, we can't do this mission. We didn't get okayed with it, or we lost funding for that, or blah 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 blah.
We couldn't turn our mics on. We fell.
Yeah, right. And he would
All
always
that.
say "good."
That's good.
Yeah, because like, and he's like, why would
There's
why do you always
no
say,
there's no growth whatsoever unless you make mistakes, and there is no growth without conflict and bad things. So,
exactly. Every obstacle is an opportunity.
facts. So let's go.
Should get that tattooed.
We should go. And what do you want to start with? We had a little bit of an outline about Jokic, his injury. Do you want to start with that?
Well, I think we want to start off with the Lakers, and then second
okay.
half of the show we're going to talk about Embiid and Jokic making history.
Okay.
Also talk about Ja Yaman on Wemby. Also, just like kind of just.
I had my kind of say when we were out of the studio, but I can do that again.
Goings-ons in the NBA, random stuff. 'Cause we've been gone for a little while, you know, so
Yep.
we gotta catch up on a lot of stuff.
Yeah. We've been gone for how long? 2 weeks? 3 weeks?
Couple weeks,
ridiculous. I felt since last year I didn't
yeah.
see
We've been
y'all.
gone since last year. I was all loaded up on a Red Bull today.
Guys, I need to survive through my day, so let's not judge.
Yeah.
So, what did you want to talk about exactly with Lakers?
Okay, so the Lakers started essentially a 12-game homestand. They're going to break it up with a game in Utah on January 13th, but they're pretty much playing a bunch of home games coming up right here. And it's a crucial time for them because as of right now, they're sitting 10th in the West, which is the last playoff spot. And, of course, it's early in the season. It's not even the All-Star break yet. But they are under 500 at 17 and 18 right now. And the saying for the Lakers for the past few years is they'll go as far as Anthony Davis will take them. Anthony Davis is playing out of his mind right now.
Yeah.
The best player.
LeBron is playing out of his mind right now.
But it's also like how long that will last.
Yeah.
LeBron and Davis, like they can't like throw the whole season.
Right.
Well, true.
Yeah, no, and so now it's a matter of, are they going to pick somebody up? Are they going to fire their coach? Or are
You
they
think the coach is the root of the issue? It's like the
Absolutely not. But with a team that LeBron's on, the coach is always at risk of getting fired. All LeBron has to do is drop the word, and front office is going to start making moves. So
Do you think LeBron's gonna start coaching career after he retires?
I don't know. You think he's willing to fire himself?
after he
Fire
plays
himself is
with
crazy.
after he plays with his sons, probably maybe he will be like,
You think you traded
by the
his
time
sons?
he's 70
Like,
or
his sons ain't
something.
Playing well, I'm gonna have to trade you, bro.
Nah, I don't know, man. I don't know. He might bench him.
So you think that Lakers will have some kind of tactics? Because honestly, I'm completely honest here. I did not watch a single Laker game, and as Matthew said, I didn't miss out on much.
Right.
Because every single time I have the notification about Lakers game, like the result is like loss, and I'm like, what? What is going on there?
Yeah, no, and it's crazy
It's
because
weird.
they got, LeBron once again at the top of the All-Star voting. Well, so Giannis has more votes, but he's at the top of the votes for the West.
Mm-hmm.
So for me personally, like I thought they made a good decision by just staying pat from last year because the moves that they made in the second half of the season and reinvigorated that team, brought them to the conference championship, which also makes me think, okay, that coach does not need to be fired. But that didn't save Frank Vogel.
It didn't.
You know, Frank Vogel won a championship with them. They got rid of him the first opportunity they could. They need shooters. You know, they don't have like the kind of like the system that the LeBron teams have is just surrounding with shooters. But if you look at this squad, it's really Austin Reeves and then nobody else.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's hitting threes. Nobody's hitting shots except for him and AD.
I've been talking about this guy from last year. Duh, it's been like 5 days ago. I've been talking about Austin Reeves and just wanting to see what he does, and he did.
Yeah,
This is the first time. I think this is one of the players that I've never talked about negatively.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like the big three right there.
Yeah.
You know, just to throw this out there, Gabe Vincent's been out, and he is definitely a 3-point shooter. It's still just not enough. So, the player that I circled as far as a dude that will help them most is, well, maybe not help them most, but will definitely improve their squad is Bogdan Bogdanovic down in Atlanta. And they're kind of like a meddling squad. They're also in the 10th spot, but in the East. They're 14-19 right now. Trae Young is playing really well.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they're going to break up the band, but it does seem like they're trying to move DeJounte Murray. And it just there was a lot of question marks from that pickup right from the get-go. And it seems like it's just not working out. The Lakers don't have enough trade capital to pick up DeJounte. But I like to bring this up. Former Lakers that would help this team right now. Jordan Clarkson. The bald eagle, Alex Caruso. If they had those two guys on their team, KCP play perimeter defense, hit a three whenever you need to. Huh?
He ain't going nowhere.
No, he's not going anywhere at all. No, none of these guys are going to go back to the Lakers. I mean, the only shot is really Alex Caruso, but Alex Caruso.
No, I don't think. I mean, in your dreams.
Right. Somebody's got to give up quite a bit to get Alex Caruso, and the Lakers don't really have much after they picked up AD and Russ and all this sort of stuff. So it doesn't seem like it's in the cards for them to pick those dudes up. So
someone in the chat said, "What are your thoughts on Kuminga losing faith? I can't speak.
Yeah,
losing faith in Steve Kerr." I can't speak.
Yeah.
for the Warriors.
Do
you want to read it yourself? Cause
I don't know where the chats are.
Carlos said, like, what are your thoughts on Kuminga losing faith in Steve Kerr
for the Warriors? Those exact words were used on the IG post.
So like the Warriors,
That's
Steve Kerr and the Warriors are losing, and they're in the same situation of the Lakers of like, should we get rid of our coach? Should we make a trade? And
honestly,
Kuminga came out and said that.
My thoughts are not necessarily towards this situation, but also like overall, making big changes because you're changing the whole coach. It's kind of risky because it takes a coach kind of some time to build a chemistry with every single player, to figure out the tactics, how to specifically train the team as a whole, how to build the bond and everything. It's like just a lot. So I would not, me personally, I would never change a coach in this point of time. Like, the playoffs are approaching and then you're going to
I think it
flip.
Depends on
I feel you on
the
that.
circumstance. Because, like, if you're in a position where the coach is the, like, number one
problem,
then that mid-season change of coach might help you.
Yeah.
Because there's been situations where that coaching change has happened in the middle of the season and things have worked out for teams. But in terms of the Warriors, I don't think firing Steve Kerr will be an issue. But the problem with Steve Kerr from outside perspective is that he only trusts a few people. He trusts Curry, of course, and then he trusts Klay
Thompson,
Andrew Wiggins.
Yep.
And he doesn't trust his young guys. Like, time and time again, like, Moses Moody is another player that doesn't get a lot of playing time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
They do by the end of the
people are
game.
like, play him because he brings value. But like Steve Kerr, like only trusts who he trusts.
Yeah.
You know, you reminded me of that TikTok sound. He's quiet for real. Like that's Steve Kerr. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
No,
I'm
I
gonna
don't know.
play it after, but that's the only.
He's quiet for real.
Like it's
What?
this TikTok sound. I don't know where did it come from. It was someone in the interview talking about someone else. Oh yeah, I'm just gonna have to play it because this is this is literally stupid.
Yeah. Well, you could try to find it on.
I don't think. Are we gonna get copyrighted? I would not risk it, but I'll just show
Well,
it
it
to
might
you
be on
later.
Twitter
Don't know.
or X. Lou. Okay, so my take on this is, who the heck is Jonathan Kuminga to say this about Steve Kerr?
Who
Jonathan
is his
Kuminga
man?
is like a bench player, and he's actually been playing really well the last 3 games. So all of a sudden you get 3 good games under your belt. You're trying to call for the
Well,
coach.
there's a reason why he's saying that
Like-
because he's a bench player. He has a lot of time. To say
Yeah,
things
but,
that.
like, he-
on an
he's been-
Instagram post.
He's been underperforming for the first couple of years of his career, and he's finally starting to play well. I mean, really, like, okay.
And then ruin it for himself. kinda.
Right. This. I mean, so we've been okay. So the past 2 years, it's kind of been like, should the Warriors break up the band, start new, or continue with this big 3, right? And currently, Draymond isn't on the floor. And say what you want about Draymond as a problem, but when he's out there, he's an integral part of that team.
Yep.
So him being absent and them like falling in the standings, that falls in line with what I would expect. You know what I mean? And first off, Jonathan Kuminga is averaging 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 1.4 assists a game. I mean, it's not like he's lighting up the world, but the past 3 games he's had 16, 19, and 16, which is solid. You know what I mean? But it's like
All right, but
it's like not even
yeah.
the equivalent of like Austin Reeves calling for the coach. You know what I mean? It's like it matters when Steph or Clay says something about it. Even Kevon Looney's a bigger
I
part of
don't
that
think
team.
there
than-
is any. Honestly, it's kind of etiquette and kind of the. It's like
Yeah, it's
there's this
definitely-
thing where like imagine I see teams as one big family.
Mm.
So imagine talking about a family problem, not to your close friend, but like
Yeah,
taking a
to the
mic and be
world.
like, "Yo, my mom sucks." Like that's not how you're supposed to say that. Like if you have a problem with a person, I think you should. I'm not sure. Maybe he did address the problem to the coach himself. Maybe he did not, and he just, oh my God, I'm gonna speak in public.
Yeah, definitely,
Right.
definitely the way he handled it.
It's
to
not-
go on IG and
yeah.
be like, "Yeah, I'm losing faith in him." Is crazy. That's one step away from getting traded, bro.
Yeah,
maybe
it's-
maybe that's his plan. Maybe he
Maybe-
wants to get
maybe.
traded.
No, it could be. I mean, maybe he's going to get more play time. I mean, he did play 34 minutes against Orlando. That's starter minutes right there. But like I said, Jonathan Kuminga, I think he's speaking a little out of turn in this situation. But yeah, Kerr's not the problem. It's just an aging core group. Klay Thompson never came back to full.
I wonder how everyone looked at him. Sorry, go ahead. I'm gonna.
Full capability after his multiple injuries. He was out
Yeah.
for so long. So Steph has been, picking up the slack for everybody. I definitely don't think it's Steve Kerr's problem. And speaking on what you said, like, I mean, that's the reason why I didn't pick the Bucks to make it to the finals this year, because they have a brand new first-year
Yep.
head coach ever. So it's like it does take a little bit of time for you to implement your system. Which, by the way, the Bucks could hit their stride, because when Ime took over for the Celtics, it was right around now, toward the end of January, when they really started to play Ime's style of basketball. So I mean, the Bucks could turn it around.
I mean, are you talking about Udoka?
yeah, Ime Udoka.
He's a questionable guy too. Like,
He's a great coach though.
He's a great coach. We don't know what
He's
he
a
did
great-
with that
he's-
person
he's
in the
cre- yeah,
organization, but
he's a great coach.
oh,
which
I
is like, when's
hate
the 30
myself.
for 30 for that coming out? I mean,
I
come
keep
on.
bringing the bad stuff all the time.
No, it's fine. No, it's good. It's good because I mean, Ime Udoka did like a thing that you wouldn't want your friend to do. You know, he was engaged to somebody. He had an affair with one of his
I don't associate myself with
coworkers
people like
or
that.
something. Huh?
I don't associate myself with people like that.
Yeah, yeah. As a coach, he's a good guy. He's a good coach. for
I
sure.
wonder.
But-
The thing that I interrupted you for was like, imagine Kuminga posting that, and then like how, like imagine, like as if you like make a bad post about me on Instagram publicly,
Yeah.
And then the next day we have a show and you walk in and like this pressure in the air. Imagine him going to like practice the next day or something. What do you think the reaction was within the team?
Right, and
Did someone
especially
like
in the
there are
locker room.
probably definitely players who also have a lot of bench time instead of play time. They were like dubbed him up quietly or like, yeah, you said what I wanted to say this whole time. But also imagine like, I don't know, someone who gets a lot of play time, they're like,
Well,
bro,
here,
you wild.
Yeah.
here's an actual example. Like Jordan Poole was basically like their Austin Reeves, you know,
yeah.
catching fire off the bench or just
I
like
love
just
that guy. I feel so
taking
bad
taking
for
shots
him.
and stuff, right?
Yeah.
When he was dropped by Draymond Green, they traded him, dude. So let's just put it that way. Like that core
True.
three is what that team cares about most. I think that's why Bob Myers stopped coaching. I mean, stopped as a GM. Because I think that he wanted to just be like, okay, you know, this isn't going to bring us a championship for any longer, so we're going to try to trade our core group, get a bunch of draft picks and young guys to start building for the future. Was it Dunleavy? Mike Dunleavy is their new GM, so I think that he's probably going to side with Kerr. I don't know. Kerr just seems like a legend. I don't know where Jonathan Kuminga's coming from.
Yeah.
He's quiet for real.
Kerr got some room to do whatever he wants in there, like, 'cause he's established.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, what Kuminga is saying, like, maybe just saying it just to get traded or to get moved, but like the way you handle the situation, are you expecting to continue playing for this team without any issue? Because like, you just bring more problems on yourself
Yeah.
when you handle it like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he was thinking, but anyway, you wanna pull
You
up?
just ignored me.
Yeah, she's just trying to
I
get
was
dap
trying
from
to
you.
do
Oh, my bad. I didn't see that.
I was like, everyone's ignoring me today.
Do we have any jaw highlights or anything that we can end this first half hour
yes.
Um,
Let's go. I've made a public
on? Or
announcement.
what is it? Oh,
Ju-
there's the Jokic. We're gonna save the Jokic talk for the second half,
Yeah.
or we could tease it.
What I was saying when we were out of studio is like, Ja Morant is kind of growing on me. Like, yes, go off when he dunked on Wemby. I'm so happy.
no, continue
I was
that,
like,
continue that.
yes.
Continue that, cause that's what
Because honestly, I'm if I say what I said outside, people are gonna hate me, but I don't care. Whatever. Sometimes remember how I said how tall is Victor Wembanyama? He's like 7 feet.
7'4".
7'4", whatever. Doesn't make it better for him. When he dunks, like, I understand. Like, yay, a round of applause. But honestly, when you're 7'4", you're supposed to be able to dunk.
Right. It's just
Like, if I'm 5'7" and I dunk, then would be wow. That was a wow thing. But if someone who's 7'4" dunks, and he also does it so slow.
yeah, he does.
He's
it.
not like a quick bow. He's just like,
Yeah, that's a part of it though. Like, he's a graceful 7'4". A lot of 7 foot
He's
plus guys
so
we don't
slow.
see with the handles and
I
the
think
the beauty of motion that Wembanyama
there's
puts out there on the
supposed to
court.
be a height limit in NBA.
No, there's not a height limit.
I need a height limit in the NBA.
No, 'cause
I want
usually-
everyone to be 6'5".
No, because usually,
Because the play will be equal.
I mean,
Oh,
to that
no.
point, there usually is a height limit.
Put the highlights up.
Yeah, I
See,
want them
I'm
to be.
trying to
Oh,
transition
wonderful.
it,
So
but
beautiful.
Oh, it's not working?
It's not showing
This
up.
is something you should cheer for.
I mean, yeah, that's an
You know what I
and
mean?
too, and you didn't get the call. Right before that, earlier in
I'm
that
such a
game,
hater.
Wemby blocked Ja's layup, and Ja was like, "Nah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
get back on him no matter what." But I mean, Wemby, I mean, look, it's okay. I got a weird thing. My preseason rookie of the year pick was Chet, and it's just conditional. You know what I mean? He's on a better team.
I'm tired of talking good about Wembanyama. So
Yeah, he's on a better team. He's putting up similar numbers, but what Wemby does defensively is kind of out of control. Like, he blocked 7 shots last night. Like, that's not normal for a rookie to just
What happened?
kill it like that.
We're back.
Well, we don't have to worry about it, dude.
It's okay.
But yeah, no, and
It doesn't come
look,
out.
The Grizzlies are
It's okay.
are going to be playing the Lakers tonight at Crypto.com at 7 p.m. So that'll be a premier matchup. We better believe we're gonna see Ja putting up some highlights because he shows up and shows out for LA.
100%. When it comes to that height reference, though, like, usually a 7-foot guy or anybody above 7 foot shouldn't be doing what Wemby does. Because if you've seen what Wemby did, he was behind the back, dunk.
Yeah.
And then another one, he was playing against the Pacers. He took 2 steps from the top of the key, dunk.
I will say one thing. Well, I'm going to say more than one thing, but we need to stop calling the next big man that can dribble a unicorn. There's like
Who
a
call him a,
everybody calls him a unicorn.
I've never heard that.
Yeah,
They
so
called
first
Chet.
it was Porzingis, then it was Chet, then it was
I've never.
Giannis. Like,
You
everybody's
guys can
a
call me
unicorn.
stupid. I've never heard that.
I
But
mean,
what is the
Wemby-
resemblance?
And
Wh-
it's
like,
and first off, a unicorn.
why don't they
it's
call him
just-
like
it-
if it's a
the-
mi-
one of one.
It should
it's
be
a mythical creature.
unicorn. One horn. The name unicorn is out of control. Like, come on, let's be real here, people.
No, wait, hold on. What? If it's a
Unicorn.
mythical creature,
Uni,
just call.
Uni means one.
Okay, I know.
Corn.
Yeah.
A unicorn has one horn. That's where
Okay.
I assume that's where they get the name. Unihorn.
Okay.
Why is it corn? Is it like candy corn? I mean, that's the closest thing.
I'm
to
very
I-
That's
confused.
semantics, though, man. I don't know.
But why do they call them unicorns? What?
Because unicorns are mystical, magical creatures, and they're fleeting. You never.
But
you-
why
you
don't they
see
call him like a
one-
mermaymean, a mythical creature as well?
I don't know.
Don't want to
That's what
offend
I'm
anyone
saying.
who
I mean,
believes in mermaids.
Wemby said he
That's what
doesn't
I'm
like
saying.
being called a unicorn.
He
He'd rather
doesn't?
Somebody call him an alien.
I think he's like an avatar from the movie Avatar. Yeah, don't you think so?
You just
I see
like,
that.
yeah, you did. No, that's.
It just doesn't roll off
Why
the
do we?
tongue as
They
much
have
as
names.
unicorn.
I don't think unicorn is crazy. I've never heard of that. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I
Not
don't
it.
know. Anyway, so I think that we're ready to take our first break or
Yeah.
our only break.
Yeah.
Right around the half-hour mark right now. That first half hour flew by.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right, well, hey, this is Dunk Discussions. I'm Dan L. Got producer Matt, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. Crunch time, my time's not to be wasted. Win, lose, draw, I am not playing. In my lane, out the way is the safest. Be consistent, there's no credit in phases. Keep on working, we gon' see where it takes us. Life's a marathon, why aren't you pacing? All that sprinting, taking too many breaks is compromising your position, advancing. Real life, you get so many chances. You can't leave trying to find out the answers. We've been moving around without GPSs. We've been growing without all them enhancements. Learn quick, out here making connections. Everybody don't do what they be saying. That's why my team's who I spend day to day with. It's on us when I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. Trying to get rich, but they dying to 50. Ducking these trends, I don't like what I'm seeing. They jumped the fence, but the grass wasn't greener. No one warned about the wolves and hyenas. Eggshells, gotta watch how you treat us. Shaking hands, a part of doing business. Make a promise, make sure that you deliver. Good business, only way it continues. Money matters and you need the credentials. Coming straight up, barbers gon' bring issues. My time is prices, don't like to misuse it. And only you can't have, do it. If we started, we gon' see it through. Can't just talk, you gotta show the proof. My interest is making these money moves. Not running my mouth and not coming through. Let's run up the back, I need something new. I'm high on the bills, I want them blue. You want me to work, I'ma need it soon. They all in the way, we gon' need some room. Locked in and focused like missiles on cruise. Going non-stop, I got something to prove. Playing with us, you gon' definitely lose. Never slow down, cause I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. Crunch time, my time's not to be wasted. Win, lose, draw, I am not playing. In my lane, out the way is the safest. Be consistent, there's no credit in phases. Keep on working, we gon' see where it takes us. Life's a marathon, why aren't you pacing? All that sprinting, taking too many breaks is compromising your position, advancing. Real life, you get so many chances. You can't leave trying to find out the answers. We've been moving around without GPS's. We've been growing without all them enhancements. Learn quick, out here making connections. Everybody don't do what they be saying. That's why my team's who I spend day to day with. It's on us when I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. Trying to get rich, but they dying to 50. Ducking these trends, I don't like what I'm seeing. They jumped the fence, but the grass wasn't greener. No one warned them about the wolves and hyenas. Eggshells, gotta watch how you treat us. Shaking hands, a part of doing business. Make a promise, make sure that you deliver. Good business, only way it continues. Money matters and you need the credentials. Coming straight up, barbers gon' bring issues. My time is prices, don't like to misuse it. And it only you can't half do it. If we started, we gon' see it through. Can't just talk, you gotta show the proof. My interest is making these.
And we are back. This is Dunk Discussions. I'm Daniel, joined with L, producer Matt, and we are here on 22 West Radio, streaming live on YouTube. Also, check out the app. It's pretty easy. It's basically just as easy as typing in the website on your phone, especially if you got the tab left up. But if you don't have the tab left up, you can just go ahead and hit the app.
Does it have notifications on, by the way?
Does what?
Like, does it have notifications that will send you out? Describe to our YouTube channel as well, because this for sure has notifications.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We also have a Spotify podcast account that we're posting up the videos, and we will have the full hour posted later this afternoon.
Just so everyone has full-on accessibility, and it's easy for everyone to watch our content and enjoy it with us.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe we'll have like a little poll question or something like that.
We should. Yeah. Okay. What did we stop on?
Okay. So we stopped on we were just kind of chit-chatting about random stuff, but right now we're going to
talk about
transition to one of the best players. I want to go ahead and say one of the best players in league history already, Nikola Jokic. And he is a one of one. He is not a unicorn.
This is a representative
or a unicorn, but he is
He's a representative of Slavic culture.
He is, yes, he's a Serbian, and he's just real, you know. He said, like, after he wins the championship, they bring up the parade to him. He's like, "Oh no, I just want to go home." What are you talking about?
Yep.
Of course, he ended up getting smashed and having a great time at the parade. So
the only time, have you guys seen this bit of a video where it was like a press conference after one of the games, and the reporter fell off the chair.
Just like you?
I did not fall off the chair. I just went down.
She was like on the edge.
And he was oh my god, he was laughing so hard after she fell. Did you not see that?
I didn't see that. Maybe we should pull that up.
That was the most I've ever seen him smile. And honestly, I agree. As a Slavic myself, people have issues with my face all the time, thinking that something has happened, or no, it's just our faces.
Yeah, I mean, this man just wants to ride horses and hang out with his family. And here's a quote that is validifying that statement. Go full screen. There we go.
Is there no sound?
Oh. More technical difficulties.
That's fine. It's okay.
It's okay.
Do you want to sum up what he says if you want to go down?
Yeah.
I'm going to quote. He says, "It just feels sad. Whenever you go to the bar, restaurant, some people are just taking their phones out and trying to record you."
He's like, hey,
This is his honest perspective on fame.
Yeah. I mean, and this is courtesy of the Curious Mike podcast, who is his teammate, Michael Porter Jr.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just talking. And yeah, he's pretty much saying like, hey, we're just basketball players at the end of the day. I want my kids to remember me as a good dad, not a basketball player. And there's a lot of
but whenever honestly, I just think things that people don't most of the people don't understand about is like, imagine, understand the fame. Everything in life has its downsides and upside, like good and bad, black and white, whatever. But sometimes the fame that comes to people, it comes with the bad side more than the good side. And for people, I'm lost. I lost my trail of thought. But I'm saying like they're weird people. Whenever I see a famous person, this is not the first thing I'm doing, because you have to keep in your head they are a regular person as well. Imagine if someone just took their phone out and was like,
right.
People did that to me in high school. It was very weird. Someone was just taking pictures of me randomly walking around, and they would airdrop them back to me.
Really?
And I would just see myself from different angles, and I understand how he feels. Another experience I've had was I was walking to campus back in Fullerton when I used to go to Fullerton, and someone full on screamed my government name out, and I was like,
Your government?
My first name and my last name.
Is your name not Elmira Darmanian?
It is.
Oh, but that's.
But it was like, yeah, and I was like, who is that?
I've only heard that term when people just go by nicknames.
No.
Yeah.
My full on name, and that was like, experiences like that like make me scared, and I don't understand how people who have this much fame survive like stuff like that.
Oh, it's so hard to continue
It's
to be a normal person when you're on that level of fame. Especially, I mean, he's worldwide fame.
Yeah.
You know, like.
No, literally, because
Yes.
Yeah. He's from
a whole
Serbia,
different
dude.
country, right?
You know, like, dude, people over there, they'll like stay up late to watch him play ball. I mean, I'm sure I don't know the numbers, but I'm sure there's people tuning in all over Europe.
Yeah,
And
I can tell you
Asia
the
and
numbers
stuff,
because I was one of those people.
Yeah.
It was 5 a.m., 4 a.m., 6 a.m.
Checking out the Joker.
Yep.
Yeah, which anyway, okay, yeah, and like you see a lot of famous people who start out that are seemingly kind of normal, and then they kind of develop into just somebody that just, you can tell they just surrounded themselves with yes men. You know, that's why it's incredible with LeBron, where LeBron, he's still, you know, obviously he's got a little bit of an ego, but there's reasons behind it. I mean, he's one of two best players of all time.
I don't
but
think
he's also been like, there's like child stars that we've known as like actors and stuff, and they grow up as like crazy drug addicts and just kind of throw their lives away in and out of rehab and stuff like that. Where LeBron, since he was like 15 years old, you know, he's been on national television. People know about him, and he's kind of never had that
big scandal.
Never had that scandal.
Some people just lose their head over the fact that they're getting following, getting fan base, and et cetera, et cetera. But it's good to know that some of them go, like, they grow out of that phase and they admit it. Some of them just don't. And I think that well,
here's an example. Like we were just talking about Ja. And Ja, he is at that period in his life and his career where he needs to kind of pick and choose his friends a little bit better. And he needs to look internally and say, okay, I can't just act like a normal 22-year-old. I can't just do, like, my life is a superstar. A superstar's life. The things that you do is get noticed, you know? Jokic seems to just want to ride horses and hang out. So he doesn't, like, his likes and the things that he wants to do with his life don't align with a lot of people that almost seek out that superstar status. And so it's kind of easy for him to speak like this and actually put it into context for those that are trying to get that big shoe deal. They're trying to get as many sponsorships as possible instead of the ones that just, those things kind of just pour on them, you know?
Yeah.
I think Giannis has stayed true to himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of guys that stay true to themselves, but there's plenty. I mean, Jonathan Kuminga shouldn't be saying what he's saying, dude. And he ain't even like
when you were talking
deal.
about LeBron's ego, what I wanted to say is I don't think it's that much of an ego. The majority of people, okay, there's a line that you're not supposed to cross when you become famous, I think. Because, for example, let's take LeBron and another famous person. Another famous person would like treat their fans really bad, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But LeBron, what we see or may see as ego, it's literally the way of him. Like, imagine everyone knows his wife, everyone knows his sons, his daughter, himself. Like, everyone is in his business. So for people like LeBron, ego, what we call ego, is a way of protecting himself and his family, and just letting because we only know so much. We know what he lets us know. You know what I mean?
Spit.
You know what I mean?
For real though, yeah.
So and I think it's about every single famous person, because some people seek out for fame, not understanding that whenever you become famous, it's safety measures. It's like you watch how you speak and how you talk and what you say, because you can say your social security number on accident somewhere, and then some people are going to use it in a bad way. You know what I mean? Things taken out of context. It's just a lot of stuff and caution that comes with fame, and I think LeBron is dealing with it very well.
Like,
so what we can see as ego is actually his way of protecting himself and his kids.
one
and his
thing
family.
I would say, like, there's two ways of handling fame, and it's all personality wise. You have Jokic, and he comes in and he doesn't change because he's not seeking anything other than just playing basketball.
Yeah.
Giannis, same thing. Like, yeah, he loves the game of basketball, despite like him getting bashed for that quote he said about failure or something. But he just loves the game of basketball, and how he calls out his players or calls out his coaches when they have losses. He just wants to win.
Yeah.
Right? And then, yeah, it's just, and then you have Ja Morant, or you have somebody that might be struggling with the fame because they don't know how to handle it. It's all about surrounding yourself with the people, and it's all around you. And it's also, what do you want to get out of this basketball thing? Is it money? Is it the shoe deal? Is it championships? Is it, it's all about the mindset of what you want to get out of the position that you're in.
Yeah, no, and LeBron kept his core group solid since he was a young kid. You know, he made Brian Windhorst's career. You know, and it's like Brian Windhorst was a nobody, but that was the dude from Akron, Cleveland area that he was gonna talk to, and he just brought him up with him because he's like, this is the media that I trust. You know, he's gonna say exactly what I say. He's not gonna put it in the spin cycle. He's not gonna, muff my words to make it clickbaity and stuff like that. And it's also tough for basketball players because they're 100%. They're 100% in the public eye, even when they go out. You can't go shopping, like you see.
It's just
like
the
Leonardo
casual life
DiCaprio's
things.
got his hat on with his sunglasses, wearing a hoodie. Like
and I hate
7'2" basketball player that weighs 300 pounds can't do that.
I hate when people see that and be like, when they cover themselves up or like whatever to go to a public place, because for them going to the public place is not a regular life like thing to do anymore.
Right,
they get noticed, all of this and that, and so people, you have to have a right mindset to really like be a fan of someone. You know what I mean? Because the first thing that if I see a famous person, taking my phone out is not the first thing that I do.
Right.
I would honestly, if I ever met anyone famous, I did before, but
I'm not.
If I ever met LeBron,
the first thing
my
I'm doing,
first
taking out my phone.
no, no, it's okay. Honestly, I understand because some people, the only thing that they can do is like take the phone and like capture the moment. But even if I met LeBron, I would just appreciate the small talk or the conversation, because this is the kind of memory that I can keep with me forever, and maybe not the whole internet will see it, but for me it will be like a personal experience, because the more you become, the more people you have around you, the more famous you become, you value those like small moments that you can keep to yourself, I think. And also, one thing that I wanted to really appreciate is, how not all athletes, but the majority, not even athletes, just like famous people who became famous, I just love watching them, like them and their wives, probably like couples, stay together from the very beginning. Like when his head didn't break from all the fame, or her head didn't like spin around and change, nothing like that.
Yeah,
it's just like, for me, I love seeing LeBron with his wife. It's just it's so heartwarming.
That's the
I'm just
fairy
like,
tale. That's like
even
high
though
school. That's like
high school sweethearts.
Yeah, the high school sweethearts. That's like movie. That's
yes,
like a movie.
I'm
type
like, oh
love.
my god, that can actually happen. Like, wow, that's so cool. Like, it's like they've been together from the very beginning, and they just talk to each other, and it's like beautiful and stuff.
Yeah,
they're like the role models for real.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, Jokic, game winner against the Warriors last night. They went on an incredible run with the last 6.5 minutes of the game. But yeah, we got the highlight. Let's just play the highlight. We don't have sound or anything, but we could just play the highlight at least.
Let's see that.
Here's the sequence. 3.6 seconds left. Jokic just throws up a prayer on Kevon Looney. Oh, you know what? I don't see Kuminga out there for the last game.
That's crazy.
Maybe according to Jonathan Kuminga, that's why they lost, right?
Yeah, maybe.
And he goes and tells Chuck. Chuck asks him if he called glass.
Yeah,
he
he's
said,
definitely
"Hey, I
on the
made
bench."
it. I don't even care." Yeah, man. But yeah, no, fame will get to a lot of people. You know, they did a 30 for 30 on guys that just blew all their money, and it happens, man. You know, like you think these guys got more money than God, but it's easy to spend it, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
But let's make a transition to another guy that we were just talking about. We're talking about Giannis and how the Pacers have beaten them 4 out of 5 times this year. And
Yeah.
Matt actually just showed me a little quote from Giannis. I wish our sound was working so we could actually play it. But Giannis was basically saying, "Hey, it's good to have a little young gun squad that'll beat you 4 times in the middle of the season because you have that awareness about you and your squad, and it allows you to see the flaws in your team before it gets to crunch time in the playoffs, right?"
Yeah.
And there was one quote hidden at the end of his end of his statement that I felt was fairly important. And I think it was contrasting the new coach, brand new coach. He was with Toronto last year as an assistant, and Mike Budenholzer, the guy that just got fired after winning of a championship 2 years ago. Excuse me.
You're good.
And he was saying that the coach needs to coach harder. And I know, Elle, when we talked about your previous coaches in your life, you might appreciate this statement, you know?
100%.
Don't just pump up your players and tell them all the great things they're doing and be
I've never
Mr.
heard anything
Positive all the time. Tell them what they're doing wrong. Be real with these guys.
It's not even
you know?
about
and I think that I just think that the new style of coaching is to be soft with their players because the superstars are making what 50 million times more than what they're making. So it's kind of like a status thing that's in the back of their head. But
don't be
that's
harsh
not
on yourself. It's okay. Like this sugarcoating, I hate that.
Yeah. You gotta be real.
Why? Like, you know, because I personally, from my experience of coaching, not me coaching, but me being coached, it was never like you did great. Even if I did great, even if I were in the first place, my coaches will always be like, you could have done better.
Yeah.
Like where's the better for you? For me was always the question. But it's not even about that. I just think I agree. The coaching style, maybe none of us were ever at the practice. Like we can't say what is the style of coaching for every single team. But I agree 100%. Sometimes the coaching style should be a little bit harsher because some people, it depends also on how players will receive that kind of message, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because people can interpret it in a different way. Someone might start struggling with mental health when you keep telling people keep going, like do better, whatever. And some people can take this negative and put it into positive by making it a motivation. So it really depends. Because for me it was like a countrywide mentality. For me it was like I'm not going crazy over this, like it's okay. But some people who hear it for the first time are actually like, what is he saying? You know what I mean? Yeah. So it really depends.
I definitely think it's also it comes towards the players too. Like if your coach is telling you what you got to improve on, as a player, you can't just be like, all right, coach, whatever, and then just keep playing the same way you playing. It's
and then we were just talking about, then go to your homies, and then they're like, oh no, you're good. Don't listen to that fool. You got this. You know what I mean? Like.
I agree.
Definitely ego.
Because you have to be open to criticism.
Yeah.
And obviously all those guys who have trained for so many years and who not only they will have criticism from the coach, their teammates, but also people from the outside perspective, like me here sitting down and hating on all these players. It's just it's already criticism. They don't have to listen to me, but you can hear it though. Because for me personally, I will accept criticism from the closest people.
Right.
That's it. If anyone else tells me something, I'm just like one ear in, the other one out.
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of these negative social media posts, I've clicked on them, and it's like, these people they don't have any personal posts to themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
easy
It's
to
like,
sit
it's like,
down
is
and
this even
hate.
a real person, or did they just have like some like shadow account that they're just like talking about, just
Imagine
smack
it's
on,
like
and they just
his own coach hating on him and like a fake account. In the
Well,
comments.
no, there was a referee that got fired this offseason because he had a burner account.
There's so
and
many-
he was defending himself and other referees online, and they found out about it. You just gotta block out all that
There's so
noise,
many
'cause-
referees that have to
Yeah, some
go
people-
home.
Yeah, some people just think it's a sport getting online. They're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be like,
Yeah.
and it's like, bro, get outside and try to
Some
make 10
refs
free throws
really
in a row.
need to. I'm talking about refs, not only NBA, but also like Big West and stuff struggles with the refs.
Oh,
I
Big
hate-
West, yeah. Which yeah, Big West. Hey,
mind-blowing. Like I can't. Like
big
it
win for the men.
angers me.
yesterday.
Get some glasses.
Yeah,
Change
get
your
some-
job.
Yeah.
What are you doing on the court?
Okay.
I'm just like
I get
sometimes
it.
I'm sitting down and I'm like I literally like I physically my anger like I can't. I want to get on the court instead of you. Like let's switch.
Okay, hey, honorable mention before we end it. Before we end this, I think we had a
We
great
have a
hour.
new
This
thing.
this
Honorable
flew.
mention.
Well, just honorable. I just wanted to just mention Joel Embiid.
Yeah.
You know, Joel Embiid, 30 and 15. He's like gonna tie Kareem if he does it tonight. Wilt Chamberlain's done it, you know, dozens of times. He did it like 50 games in a row or whatever. But these two guys sitting up top of the MVP ladder, which I've been annoyed about all the MVP talk because it's not even halfway through the season. But yeah, Joel Embiid is worth mentioning, and he's another guy that wants the criticism. Shaq very vocally would call him out early in his career because he was joking around too much. He wasn't taking it seriously.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid took that criticism and ran with it because he wants to be great. You know.
That's what I was talking about.
Huh?
That's what I was talking about. Like when you accept criticism instead of just like letting it go or brushing it
Yeah,
off.
to people that matter. Shaq's
Yeah.
one of the greats, right?
You
Like
can't like yeah.
if Shaquille, you know, McNeil was talking about that, like you go one ear
No
out
one's
the
gonna
other,
listen,
right?
yeah.
But Shaquille O'Neal, you gotta listen to
Different.
that dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, so I think that that just about sum it up. I got a prop bet, Jason Tatum scoring more than 25 and a half tonight. Derek White dishing out more than 5.5 assists, and Domantas Sabonis getting more than, I think it's 12.5 boards. So that's what I got my action I got going on for tonight.
How much?
And then I think it's 12.5. Oh no, how much? It's $10 for 60.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks to DraftKings.
This is
And next, real
yeah.
quick teaser for next week. Let's do our East and West starting lineups for the All-Star game because it's going to be about a month out. All right.
scary. Okay. I'm joking. Anyways, guys, thank you for joining us this time. It was Daniel, Matthew, and Elle with you. It's the first outro of 2024. We'll see you guys next Friday at 2 p.m. Listen to us on YouTube, 22West Media, on our 22West Media app.
Coming soon, Spotify.
As well. And then
we already have a little bit up there, but it's not that cool.
I'm trying to find the KKJZ
88.1
FM, Long Beach, Los Angeles as well.
Oh, HD3.
HD3. Bye, guys. Thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend to yourself.
I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. Crunch time, my time's not to be wasted. Win, lose, draw, I am not playing. In my lane, out the way is the safest. Be consistent, there's no credit in phases. Keep on working, we gon' see where it takes us. Life's a marathon, why aren't you pacing? All that sprinting, taking too many breaks is compromising your position, advancing. Real life, you get so many chances. You can't leave trying to find out the answers. We've been moving around without GPSs. We've been growing without all them enhancements. Learn quick, out here making connections. Everybody don't do what they be saying. That's why my team's who I spend day to day with. It's on us when they send the payment to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time time to be playing, it's stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag, I run away quickly. Trying to get rich, but they dying to 50. Ducking these trends, I don't like what I'm seeing. They jumped the fence, but the grass wasn't greener. No one warned them about the wolves and hyenas. Eggshells, gotta watch how you treat us. Shaking hands, a part of doing business. Make a promise, make sure that you deliver. Good business, only way it continues. Money matters and you need the credentials. Coming straight up, Arbor's gon' bring issues. My time is prices, don't like to misuse it. And it only you can't half do it. If we started, we gon' see it through. Can't just talk, you gotta show the proof. My interest is making these money moves. Not running my mouth and not coming through. Let's run up the bag, I need something new. I'm high on the bills, I want them blue. You want me to work, I'ma need it soon. They all in the way, we gon' need some room. Locked in and focused like missiles on cruise. Going non-stop, I got something to prove. Playing with us, you gon' definitely lose. Never slow down, cause I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing, it's stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag, I run away quickly. I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing, it's stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag, I run away quickly. Crunch time, my time's not to be wasted. Win, lose, draw, I am not playing. In my lane, out the way is the safest. Be consistent, there's no credit in phases. Keep on working, we gon' see where it takes us. Life's a marathon, why aren't you pacing? All that sprinting, taking too many breaks is compromising your position, advancing. Real life, you get so many chances. You can't lead trying to find out the answers. We've been moving around without GPS's. We've been growing without all them enhancements. Learn quick, out here making connections. Everybody don't do what they be saying. That's why my team's who I spend day to day with. It's on us when I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing, it's stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag, I run away quickly. Trying to get rich, but they dying to 50. Ducking these trends, I don't like what I'm seeing. They jumped the fence, but the grass wasn't greener. No one warned them about the wolves and hyenas. Eggshells, gotta watch how you treat us. Shaking hands, a part of doing business. Make a promise, make sure that you deliver. Good business, only way it continues. Money matters and you need the credentials. Coming straight up, Arbor's gon' bring issues. My time is prices, don't like to misuse it. And it only you can't half do it. If we started, we gon' see it through. Can't just talk, you gotta show the proof. My interest is making these money moves. Not running my mouth and not coming through. Let's run up the bag, I need something new. I'm high on the bills, I want them blue. You want me to work, I'ma need it soon. They all in the way, we gon' need some room. Locked in and focused like missiles on cruise. Going non-stop, I got something to prove. Playing with us, you gon' definitely lose. Never slow down, cause I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing, it's stupid. Could be the
Welcome in to Around the Bases. I'm Bruce Kuntz here with Kaylee Gallagher. We're live on 22 West Radio, HD Channel 3, 22westmedia.com, the 22 West YouTube channel, and on the brand new 22 West Radio app. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm excited to be back in the studio. It's been a little over a month now. I'm happy to be back. There's a lot to talk about here with the MLB offseason going strong. Few of the dominoes have started to fall. There's still plenty more coming that we'll all get into all the rumors, everything that is going on here in this next hour. So thank you so much for joining us. Kaylee, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Excited to be back on camera. We got Mr. Jerry on producer filling in for me today. Say what's up.
What's up, y'all? How we doing? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, absolutely.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
It's been great so far, at least for us Dodger fans here on studio. Poor Garrett was not having a great time though.
Yeah, I think it might be for the best. Garrett's not here today. We can get into all the Dodger gloating. It's a fun season coming up. And with that, like I said, it's been a little bit since I've been in. Over the last couple episodes, Kaylee and Garrett kind of touched on the Ohtani and Yamamoto contracts a little bit, but we're going to dive right into that real quick here. Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto over $1 billion committed to those two guys by the Dodgers. We'll start with Shohei Ohtani. 10 years, $700 million, heavily deferred, $680 million of that $700 coming in the 10 years after the contract is up. It's a unique contract for the most unique player in baseball history, and I think it's really surprised everybody in the baseball world, and it sets the Dodgers up in a really, really good place to compete. What were your thoughts seeing that contract structure, Kaylee?
I was a little confused at first. It's like one of the first times I've seen a genuine deferral of that amount. And honestly, I was hyped. I was like, that just proved Ohtani, wherever he was going, he wanted to help that team win. And I'm glad it was with the Dodgers. I mean, with that, we were able to get Yamamoto, Glass now. We're still going after Dylan Cease, but that's trading, but we'll probably extend him. That allowed for a Walker Buehler extension in the works. It was great. I really like to see that. That's this kind of sportsmanship and things you want to see from a player who's committed to the organization. I'd like to point out, though, that he wasn't just doing it for the Dodgers. It was pretty much any other team he was associated with. He gave him that option. He just chose the Dodgers. So for all you haters out there, too bad, so sad. Sorry. But I really liked it. I really liked that he deferred that and is really ready to help out the team to win.
Yeah, I was going to mention the same thing. Ohtani went to the table, and he's the one that brought that type of contract structure to Andrew Friedman. I know Jeff Passan mentioned it in an article on ESPN a few days after everything got finalized that Andrew Friedman said himself he wouldn't have approached Shohei Ohtani with that kind of aggressive deferral kind of structure, because the first thought is, that doesn't seem very player friendly. But Shohei Ohtani, one-of-a-kind player, the amount of money that he makes off the field in endorsements opens his possibilities and opportunities a ton. So, even with only making $2 million in technical salary from the Dodgers over these next 10 years, Ohtani won't have to struggle about money. And so that left his options open, where Ohtani was able to really look at everything and think what he wanted to prioritize. And that decision came down to he wanted to prioritize winning. So he approached the Dodgers, he approached the Blue Jays, he approached the Giants. Sounds like everybody that was involved, the Angels as well, even though the Angels actually said no, that they didn't want to go through with that offer, which is its own thing. But Ohtani was going to sign with this kind of contract wherever it was that he decided, and he just chose Los Angeles. So this wasn't a Dodgers-specific thing, and it shows that Ohtani is committed to winning over everything else. He wants to build his legacy, and the only way to do that is by winning. And I think, like you said, it's a really impressive thing. It's an unselfish thing for Ohtani to clearly prioritize being able to build the best team around him. And we saw that as well with the language used in the contract, where Andrew Friedman is locked in, where if Andrew Friedman leaves at any time in Ohtani's 10 years, then he'll get an opt-out at the end of that season. Not that Andrew Friedman is going anywhere, but same thing for Mark Walter, this owner of the Dodgers. If he loses his majority stake, Ohtani can opt out. So Ohtani said himself, he felt entering negotiations, he was trusting in Friedman, trusting in Walter, and they were both trusting in him. So he's got an agreement between those three guys that the Dodgers are going to spend the next 10 years winning a lot of baseball games, and Ohtani's going to be at the very forefront of that.
Yeah, job security for sure for those two.
That's for sure. Andrew Friedman won't be going anywhere if it means that Ohtani could go anywhere. So Friedman's locked in for the next decade. I think he would have been anyway one of the best executives in all of baseball, but this offseason has really been his coming out party. He's shown a lot of patience over the last few years. It gets Dodger fans sometimes. They've seen plenty of people that are throwing around, hey, fire Andrew Friedman, whatever, over the last few trade deadlines. That was never a possibility at all. Everything Andrew Friedman and the Dodgers do is calculated. All the players that they've missed on over the last few years, whether it's in free agency, the trade market, all of it was in preparation for this offseason, and we've seen that deliver in a huge, huge way. Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, this is one of the best off seasons of any individual team in baseball history. The Dodgers already were a 100-win team, have been for the last decade almost, and they're just getting a whole lot better. It's going to be a really, really fun time in Los Angeles moving forward.
I'm hyped. I'm excited for some Dodger games now.
Yeah. We already talked about now that Ohtani contract, very unique. And Yoshinobu Yamamoto's deal doesn't quite touch to that level of uniqueness, but there's a lot to talk about there in the finer details as well. It's a 12-year, $325 million deal. And I think the big thing about this contract that really jumps off the page is the opt-outs. Yamamoto's 25 years old. So that 12-year deal, if he stays through all of it, that could be his entire career, leading him all the way till he's 37. But with the younger age, Yamamoto wanted to keep his options open if he wants to re-enter free agency and test the market again sometime down the road. Currently, he has 2 opt-outs in the deal. After the 2029 season or after the 2031 season. He'll have a chance to get out of that contract if he wants it. But there's a big stipulation that the Dodgers added. If Yamamoto, during these first 7 years of the contract, gets Tommy John surgery or spends north of, I think it's 135 days on the injured list due to an elbow-specific injury, then those opt-outs will get pushed back to 2031 and 2033 instead of 29 and 31. So I think with that, what that means, the Dodgers have guaranteed themselves at least 7 years of a healthy Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the mound for them. And the price really, when you look at it, $325 million is a record-breaking deal for a pitcher, most that has ever been handed out, beating Garrett Cole's contract with the Yankees by $1 million. But when that's spread out over 12 years, it's really not that crazy of money. And I think a lot of that gets contributed to Yamamoto's age. It's not necessarily saying that Yoshinobu Yamamoto is a better pitcher right now than Garrett Cole. I don't think anyone would say that. We'll see what he can do. He's a great pitcher. Garrett Cole's the best in baseball. But Garrett Cole, when he entered free agency, was not 25 years old. You don't see that ever, and Yamamoto brings that to the table. He also brings a very stable durability history over in Japan. He's thrown a lot of innings, a lot of years, and they don't pitch quite as often over there, only once a week on Japanese schedules. But getting over to the States, there's not a ton of mileage on that arm, and the younger age. The Dodgers built in this insurance plan in case his elbow starts to deteriorate at all and needs any surgeries. But he's in good shape, and I think that the money really reflected that the Dodgers feel good about his health.
Yeah, I think so too. He solves a lot of issues around our bullpen that we were really struggling with last season, so it's really great to see fresh new starting pitcher come in and kind of help with that rotation. And the bonuses, we're only paying him and Ohtani $7 million this year, which is just ridiculous.
Yeah, that comes with the $50 million signing bonus that's handed to Yamamoto as soon as he puts the pen to paper. It's actually divided. I believe it's $30 million that gets paid out at one date, and then sometime in the middle of the year. I think
20 mil
July 1st.
February 1st,
Okay,
and then
there you go.
another 30 mil July
All right.
1st.
So it's $50 million in straight cash spread out over this 2024 season, just paid 2 separate dates. But like you said, in terms of pure salary, only $5 million to Yamamoto. Against the tax, it's similar to Ohtani's, where a lot of people were freaking out. Only $2 million a year for Ohtani. It counts differently in terms of the payroll tax. Same thing with Yoshinobu Yamamoto's deal. It's somewhere in the range of $27 million a year for the full 12 that counts against the payroll tax and the competitive balance tax. Same thing for Ohtani, where it counts, I believe it's in the $46 million range for the next 10 years. In terms of the pure cash flow, though, it really frees up the Dodgers really well to possibly go past those tax thresholds and be able to afford it a little bit more, because in terms of actual dollars being handed out, it's only $7 million on the payroll to those 2 guys who are going to be the two of the bigger faces of the team. It's a pretty unique situation, and the Dodgers are in a great spot to thrive with that, and they've already taken those steps with the additions that they've made this offseason.
Yeah.
I know that you were interested in some of these other facets of this Yamamoto contract. This
yeah.
money stuff is only the beginning of it. There's plenty more to dive into. What are some of the other parts that caught your eye, Kaylee?
All right, so some of the perks that Yamamoto got in this contract were pretty standard to most. He gets a personal trainer, physical therapist, and being somewhat international, they usually get an interpreter. That's pretty standard for most contracts in the baseball world. Here's where it gets a little interesting. He gets 4 business class RT airline tickets, and it says $8,500 max per RT per year, and then he gets 1 premium economy RT airline ticket for use by family straight to LA, and their best efforts to make Japanese food available. Does that mean we're getting sushi at Dodger Stadium anytime soon?
Yoshinoya, I know, is a big favorite, but I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you guys know, but RT, I think, means round trip.
Yeah, round
So that'll
trip.
be a round trip flight for him on his contract.
That keeps Yamamoto is able to get his friends, his family out to Dodger Stadium to watch him. I think it's an interesting thing. A lot of these contracts have their own unique little things thrown in, but it seems like Yamamoto's is one of the more unique. Throwing airline tickets into the equation is a not typical thing, but it was interesting to see some of the extra areas that the Dodgers were able to entice him to come to Los Angeles, because I think the other thing to think about with this Yamamoto contract, it blew way past what the expectations were for his total dollars when we entered free agency. I think a lot of people were throwing around somewhere in the range of 150, maybe $200 million.
Yeah.
And as days went on, you started to hear more of, hey, he might get 200, he might get 200. Then all of a sudden we reached the finish line, and it's north of $300 million in a record-breaking contract.
I mean, the Dodgers are nothing but extraordinary. I mean, their recruiting measures on Ohtani and Yamamoto alone, I think what I read was it was Mookie, Freddie, and Ohtani, and then I think there was rumors of Will Smith being there or not. But basically, they brought him out to the meeting and were like, hey, come play for us, dude.
Bobby Miller was there, too.
Bobby Miller? Dude. Can you imagine just, like, you're walking in, these teams are trying to get you, and you just see, like, all-stars just straight up right there just saying, hey, come play with us.
Yeah.
Dodgers for Ohtani, the cool thing was they used Kobe. Kobe had recorded a message for him way back when he was first a free agent. I think it was, 2017?
Yeah, 2017.
2017, and they reused it again, and hey, man, these Dodgers will do anything it takes to get these players to come to LA.
Impressive pitch work from Andrew Friedman and the Dodger front office. Like you mentioned, that Kobe Bryant video when I saw that news in that Jeff Passan article I mentioned earlier. That's pretty crazy to think about, that they were sitting on that video for this long, knowing that they were ready to use it to try and get Ohtani. Ohtani appreciated that. He said it's a nice gesture. And I think also, like you said, a lot of the meetings for Yamamoto, it sounded like most of them happened in Los Angeles, at least during that first round. I kind of wonder a little bit whether it was an advantage for the Dodgers that Yamamoto was able to actually go to Dodger Stadium. Other teams are coming to Yamamoto and meeting in Los Angeles at different locations, but for Yamamoto to actually be showing up to Dodger Stadium, have a first-hand tour of all the facilities, have that basically all-star team in attendance at the meeting looking to recruit him, you have to wonder whether that played a big role in Yamamoto's eventual decision to play in Los Angeles.
I'm going to give a quick shout-out to former Dodger pitcher Yu Darvish. When talking with Yamamoto about some of the best catchers like he's ever played with and stuff, he mentioned Will Smith, name drop, so that was also a big factor, was my boy Smitty. Got to put some respect on that boy's name.
Nice recruitment there from Will Smith. And I think that it's an interesting thing to look at. Now we've got two Japanese stars on the Dodgers. We're going to get into a little bit later another guy that the Dodgers are going to be heavily going after in stud Roki Sasaki over in Japan right now. He isn't getting posted quite yet to come over to the major leagues, but there have been reports maybe next offseason. We'll get into that a little bit later once we start talking about free agency rumors and stuff. But yeah, just looking at Ohtani and Yamamoto, these are the best hitter on the market, the best pitcher on the market. Both guys are Dodgers. Obviously, Ohtani will go back to his two-way status in 2025, but even just looking at next year, the Dodgers got the two best guys by far on the free agent market and two of the bigger free agents in Major League history. Both Dodgers. It's pretty crazy. Entering the offseason, I remember early on there was a report from John Heyman saying the Dodgers are the only team that are really looking at this and saying, hey, we might be able to get both these guys. No other team was really considering that. It was either going after Ohtani, knowing he was going to break the overall record, or it was going after Yamamoto. I don't think anybody knew he was going to break the pitching record for contract, but he did. And then you wind up with over $1 billion in commitments just from the Dodgers to those two guys. It's pretty crazy.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful time to be alive.
With that here, now we've got, we're going to go over the couple trades that we've missed since I was back in the studio. Juan Soto to the Yankees, big one there that I think has gotten overshadowed a little bit as Ohtani and Yamamoto's signings have been really the big public ones. The Yankees got a lot better with that trade. Obviously, Juan Soto's a generational batter, and he's headed to the Bronx. And then the Tyler Glasnow move. I've been pretty busy on that front. Dipped my toe in the reporting game, and along with my colleague Jack Azalea-Heron, broke that trade and the return going back to Tampa Bay originally earlier in December. It was Glasnow along with Manuel Margot, outfielder, heading to Los Angeles, and then back to Tampa Bay, Ryan Pepio and Johnny DeLuca, two guys who had just started to get their feet wet in the major leagues with the Dodgers, heading back to Florida, both bright futures there. But I'll start with that Glasnow trade just because that's the one that I've been paying so much attention to over this last month. But I really, really like this move for the Dodgers. Glasnow, there's been a lot of questions. There will continue to be a lot of questions about his overall durability. He set a new career high last year, reaching 120 innings, and that doesn't sound great, but Glasnow went on a podcast, and he talked a little bit more about his elbow problem. It wasn't a second Tommy John. That helps. And then there's also been some injuries. It's oblique stuff. It's not all arm trouble is what I'm getting at. So I think the Dodgers are confident that they can get Glasnow over to Los Angeles. He's back in his home area now. And I think the Dodgers feel good with their training staff. They can get this guy on the field and get 25 starts out of him next year. And I think the big thing with Glasnow, the Dodgers aren't asking for 200 innings. They're not asking for a massive workload. As long as he's healthy to start game 1 or 2 of the postseason, that's what they acquired Tyler Glasnow for. That's what they extended him for. And I think overall it was a really, really good move, even with valuable players going back to Tampa Bay.
Yeah, pitching was the biggest struggle we saw the Dodgers deal with all last season. I mean, being a fan personally watching all those games, it was always like, is it pitching or batting that's going to kill us this game? I really like the Glasnow trade. The Dodgers have a very, very strong reputation in revitalizing injured and just not having great time players' careers. So I'd like to see his career get a little revamped, and he's a hometown boy. We used to root for the Dodgers, so for him, this is a little dream come true, which is great to see that he's so passionate about coming to play. Because in reality, as a fan, like just stepping back, I want players who are passionate, who want to be in LA, not just, well, they paid me the most, so I'm going to be here. Because 9 out of 10 times, those guys that are, hey, they paid me the most, I'm going to be here, they're just coming in just to come in. Or the guys who come in with passion are here to play, and they're going to die trying to win a World Series for us. And that's all I could ask for.
I love that. Yeah, a guy like Tyler Glasnow, who has been going to Dodger Stadium, as a kid for his whole life. Now he gets to return back to the West Coast for the first time in his professional career, play for the Dodgers. And I think another big thing to touch on here, too, we've seen a lot of these pitching contracts, especially this offseason, they've been pretty expensive, beating out projections pretty consistently, with a lot of money getting thrown around. Even if it's the 1-year deals, the bigger contracts with Yamamoto, a lot of money getting handed out. But with the Dodgers, you're getting a guy who the durability concerns are the main drawback. But when Tyler Glasnow is on the field, he's a top 10 starter in the major leagues, and you just got to extend him for 4 years on $110 million in new money. That's a really, really good value contract as long as the Dodgers can keep him healthy. And that's going to be the big asterisk until he can prove that he can be on the field. But I think the other big thing there is, when we talk about that money, for a team like the Dodgers that are going to run high payrolls consistently for the next decade, even if something goes wrong here, $110 million isn't the type of money that's going to, handcuff them forever. So I think this is a really good value play. The Dodgers can bank on the fact that they'll get an ace in Tyler Glasnow when he's on the field. Even if anything goes wrong, it's not like that they're in complete, off the deep end, nothing they can do about it. So I think this was a really good, first of all, trade, second of all, extension. The Dodgers got the best pitcher on the market that has proven himself in the major leagues. And I think that I wouldn't be surprised if he gets to Los Angeles, gets healthy and really takes the next step and establishes himself as a, top 10 starter in everybody's eyes instead of just mine.
Yeah. I could definitely see it.
Yeah. I think, obviously, we've talked about here these 3 Dodger moves, massive. But now we can branch off a little bit, talk about the rest of the league. Juan Soto, we mentioned, going to the Yankees. Pretty solid return going back to San Diego, but at least in my eyes, nothing touches Juan Soto. I really like that move for the Yankees. They can get him into the Bronx, even if they're not going to extend him. That's unlikely with Scott Boras as his agent. Just getting him familiar with the Bronx, familiar with New York, and playing there should help them try and re-sign him long-term next offseason as well. And even if it's just a 1-year rental, I mean, picking up one of the best hitters in baseball is always a good idea for a Yankees team that missed the playoffs last year and is really trying to reestablish themselves as one of the powerhouses of the major leagues.
Yeah, I like that trade for them. Soto, again, is just a generational hitter. You've seen what he did in Washington, then he came down to San Diego, saw what he did there, and now he's in the Bronx. So a little short-term rental for them is great. I call it the tester phase to see if he really does fit within that lineup. But, I mean, it's Juan Soto. How hard is it to fit him in your lineup and get him to do and produce the powerhouse that he's used to? And I think you make a very great point. Like, them getting out to the Bronx now, even if they don't sign the extension, it would be a great thing that they could use and a tool they could use in free agency to bring him back.
Yeah, I mean, get him comfortable there. Hope for the Yankees. Hopefully, he can have a good year. Get some MVP votes. Get comfortable playing in front of the fans in New York. I think that's something that could always really help. And then we know next offseason the Yankees, especially having missed on guys like Yamamoto. I don't know really whether they were in on Ohtani, but they don't have a lot of money on the books is what I'm getting at. And next offseason, I would definitely expect Juan Soto is going to be their full priority. I think Juan Soto is going to wind up getting north of $500 million if nothing goes wrong this season here with the Yankees. And I think that the Yankees getting him there, having this year to try and start building their lineup around him, and then head into next offseason with the goal of locking him down for a decade plus. I think it's a really good move for New York.
Yeah.
Next here that I have on the agenda, we'll talk about Jung-Hoo Lee going to the Giants, the Korean superstar, 25 years old, 6 years, $113 million. Again, bigger contract than I think most people expected him to wind up getting. He's got an opt-out after year 4, but, I mean, the Giants, year after year after year now, it's been big free agent that they're in on and can't wind up getting after a big free agent that they miss. It's just been a recurring cycle for San Francisco and heartbreak for those Giants fans. So ultimately, I think it's nice for them. They wound up finally getting a 9-figure contract here in Jung-Hoo Lee. There's more concerns with him than there are with some of these other big free agents that they've been connected to. But ultimately, Jung-Hoo Lee has been one of the better players in the KBO for multiple years now. He should slot into that Giants lineup nice. And as long as nothing goes wrong, I think that it's a really good move for San Francisco.
Yeah, I didn't really follow or keep up with like Jung-Hoo Lee in that Korean league. Unfortunately, my focus was potentially on who the Dodgers could go for, and I was feeling more Yamamoto, Roisaki, Ohtani following them. So I don't really have much to say. I feel like if he does put up the numbers and consistently works out well, the Giants finally got their big fish. We've had the incidents with Arson Judge and all of that, and I feel like this is just, as much as I dislike the Giants because rivalry, I'm happy for you Giants fans. Like, you finally got something.
Right, something. I mean, they had the Aaron Judge controversy, like you mentioned, with John Heyman last offseason. They had Carlos Correa down, and then the physicals made it fall through. It's been a tumultuous few years there in the Bay. They finally got a guy that they can confidently say is going to be a really, really good player stepping in. Like I mentioned, too, he's pretty young, so he's a guy that could be in San Francisco for a long time now. It's a 6-year contract. If he plays really well, who knows, he could be there even longer than that. So it's a nice move for San Francisco and those Giants fans that were really, really needed something, and they finally got a player delivered to them. Next down the list here, Lucas Giolito to the Red Sox. 2 years, $38.5 million with an opt-out after year 1. This was a steep contract. I think entering the offseason, my guess was that Giolito was going to maybe get a 1 year, maybe 2 year contract, but I would have said, if you asked me, 2 months ago, I wouldn't have expected that contract to exceed $30 million at all, and he got nearly $10 million more than that. So the Red Sox picked up a starter that they very much needed, but yeah, nice contract here for Lucas Giolito.
Yeah, it's a good pickup by the Red Sox. They, again, a lot of these teams, seeing a trend, they all needed pitching was a real issue. I think the only team that didn't have that big of an issue was the Braves, so glad to see the Red Sox are finally picking it up and not trying to stay at the bottom of the league.
Yeah. Michael Wacha, Seth Lugo, both to the Royals. Kansas City seems like they're making a little bit of a run. More action in free agency than we've seen from them lately. Bobby Witt Jr. had his breakout season last year, and it's nice to see them try and build a veteran core around him and try and get Kansas City back to winning baseball. It's been a little bit there for those fans in Kansas City, so nice to see. I always love seeing smaller market teams, get active, get some free agents, and try and build. Always nice to see. We've also got Mitch Garver to the Mariners, 2 years, $24 million. The Mariners have had a very, very weird offseason. A lot of moves, a lot of trades. This contract, I think, is a nice one for them. We'll get into the Mariners a little bit more later in the show and a couple moves they just swung today on the trade market. But overall, I think just keeping it here with Mitch Garver. It's a good contract. He'll be their DH most likely. And he had a really good year in Texas last year. It extended into the playoffs, and it's a nice pickup for Seattle.
Yeah, definitely a good pickup for them, although they're being really weird right now. I have no idea what Seattle's game plan is. It seems like they're doing one thing and they'll throw you off and do something else. But that Mitch Garver pickup was a solid pickup for them. So I think that's your one and only treat. Sorry, Mariners fans. It's about probably all you're really going to get at this point. But it was pretty solid. 2 years, $24 million. Like you said, it'll be DH role. He's a good bat for them.
Yeah. The Mariners already have a really, really good-looking starting rotation. Brian Wu as the number 5 is pretty much probably the best guy in baseball in that spot. And it goes all the way up. Luis Castillo, George Kirby. So that team is looking really nice on the pitching side. And they needed some additions to the bats. Mitch Garver is a big one there for them. Like I said, we'll get into the Mariners a little bit later in the show because they have had a very weird offseason with some of the trades that they've made, the 2 that they made today. But yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. The last thing here before we go to break, I wanted to touch on Chris Sale getting dealt to Atlanta. That one surprised me pretty good. I think most people didn't really see that coming. But Chris Sale, he's been dealing with a lot of injuries and performing not quite as well as he used to in his prime. But he's heading to Atlanta in exchange for Vaughn Grissom, heading back to the Red Sox. And then Atlanta, as soon as Sale got finalized down there, extended him on a 2-year contract. So that'll be interesting to me to see whether Sale can get into a Braves rotation that's really ready to compete a little bit more than the Red Sox are currently. And see whether his performance and his health take a step up to boot so that they can pursue a World Series.
Yeah, definitely. For me, that was a really weird pickup for the Braves. I didn't think they were going to go after Chris Sale. Chris Sale's been injury-ridden and just had issues of his own. So for them to go after that with their already rotation that they've kind of pre-set up and ready to start competing once again, it's a little weird. But we'll see what the Braves can do with him, especially since they extended him.
Yeah, I would think that this mostly revolves around the Braves trying to buy low on Chris Sale, say this guy has a track record of being an ace, and they're going to hope that they can get him into Atlanta and get him back to, the best performance that he can, produce. And then I think it also had something to do with Vaughn Grissom just kind of needing to find a new home. There was some uncomfortable feelings there, I think, between Grissom and Atlanta. He didn't really get much of an opportunity last year despite being close to Major League ready. He struck out to end their season in the playoffs in Philadelphia, and now he can go try and get a fresh start in Boston with still 6 full years of team control on his contract. So I think while we talk about Atlanta mostly on this trade, I also want to touch, I think Boston got a really nice return here in Grissom. Gives them a little bit of flexibility to possibly deal from that top end of their farm system and the infield prospects that they've got. Grissom can lock down likely second base there in Boston. Nice pickup for the Red Sox in exchange for a veteran in Chris Sale.
Yeah, definitely. Good pickup for them. The return value was, I think, higher for the Red Sox than it was for the Braves, honestly.
Yeah, I think I would agree there. We'll have to see how it plays out. Both guys have a lot of variance in what's going to go on between with Sale and Grissom. But, yeah, we'll see next year how that works out. With that, we're going to send it to break. Make sure to stick with us. We'll be back in 5 minutes, and then we'll be able to touch on the trades that have happened today. Been a very active day on the trade market in baseball this offseason. And then we'll get to some more predictions and rumors about what's going to happen before spring training the rest of the way. Stick with us.
I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag, I'll run away quickly. Crunch time, my time's not to be wasted. Win, lose, draw, I am not playing. In my lane, out the way is the safest. Be consistent, there's no credit in phases. Keep on working, we gon' see where it takes us. Life's a marathon, why aren't you pacing? All that sprinting, taking too many breaks is compromising your position, advancing. Real life, you get so many chances. You can't leave trying to find out out the answers. We've been moving around without GPSs. We've been growing without all them enhancements. Learn quick, out here making connections. Everybody don't do what they be saying. That's why my team's who I spend day to day with. It's on us when I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. Trying to get rich, but they dying to 50. Ducking these trends, I don't like what I'm seeing. They jumped the fence, but the grass wasn't greener. No one warned them about the wolves and hyenas. Eggshells, gotta watch how you treat us. Shaking hands, a part of doing business. Make a promise, make sure that you deliver. Good business, only way it continues. Money matters and you need the credentials. Coming straight up, barbers gon' bring issues. My time is prices, don't like to misuse it. And it only you can't have, do it. If we started, we gon' see it through. Can't just talk, you gotta show the proof. My interest is making these money moves. Not running my mouth and not coming through. Let's run up the back, I need something new. I'm high on the bills, I want them blue. You want me to work, I'ma need it soon. They all in the way, we gon' need some room. Locked in and focused like missiles on cruise. Going non-stop, I got something to prove. Playing with us, you gon' definitely lose. Never slow down, cause I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. Crunch time, my time's not to be wasted. Win, lose, draw, I am not playing. In my lane, out the way is the safest. Be consistent, there's no credit in phases. Keep on working, we gon' see where it takes us. Life's a marathon, why aren't you pacing? All that sprinting, taking too many breaks is compromising your position, advancing. Real life, you get so many chances. You can't lead trying to find out the answers. We've been moving around without GPSs. We've been growing without all them enhancements. Learn quick, out here making connections. Everybody don't do what they be saying. That's why my team's who I spend day to day with. It's on us when I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. Trying to get rich, but they dying to 50. Ducking these trends, I don't like what I'm seeing. They jumped the fence, but the grass wasn't greener. No one warned them about the wolves and hyenas. Eggshells, gotta watch how you treat us. Shaking hands, a part of doing business. Make a promise, make sure that you deliver. Good business, only way it continues. Money matters and you need the credentials. Coming straight up, barbers gon' bring issues. My time is prices, don't like to misuse it. And it only you can't have, do it. If we started, we gon' see it through. Can't just talk, you gotta show the proof. My interest is making these money moves. Not running my mouth and not coming through. Let's run up the back, I need something new. I'm high on the bills, I want them blue. You want me to work, I'ma need it soon. They all in the way, we gon' need some room. Locked in and focused like missiles on cruise. Going non-stop, I got something to prove. Playing with us, you gon' definitely lose. Never slow down, cause I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly.
Welcome back to Around the Bases. I'm Bruce Coons here with Kaylee Gallagher. We're live on 22 West Radio. We'll jump right back into things. We're going to get right into the trades that have happened today. We'll start with Robbie Ray getting flipped to the Giants from Seattle. Mitch Haniger makes his return to the Mariners along with Anthony DeSclafani in that move. Really weird trade to wake up to this morning, and got the notification from Jeff Passan and wondered what was going on with that one. What was your first reaction seeing that news, Kaylee?
What? Just what? I mean, that was pretty much all of Twitter's reactions. Everyone that was going like, just what is happening? I don't. It makes no sense, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
I honestly I didn't know what to think of that trade. It was just there nor here. You can't even put it into words. It was just like one of those like, what am I looking at trades? Like, this isn't real.
It was an
type
awkward move. It came out of nowhere. You've got two guys in Robbie Ray and Mitch Haniger that were just signed a pretty extensive free agent contracts to the Mariners and Giants. Robbie Ray coming off Tommy John surgery that he had in May last year, and now he heads to San Francisco. He won't be back on the mound until the second half of the year, roughly. But I mean, overall, I think I like this move from the Giants side more than the Mariners side. Mitch Haniger had a really tough year last year for the Giants in his first season outside of Seattle. Anthony DeSclafani didn't have a great year either. But the Giants pick up Robbie Ray, who I think even though he struggled in Seattle after signing that big contract, he still has plenty of upside. If the Giants have identified what they think they can fix to get him back to his Cy Young form from when he was in Toronto a couple of years back, I think there's a lot of upside here. Robbie Ray has an opt-out after the 2024 season if he wants to use it, but otherwise he has 3 years and I think somewhere in the range of $70 million remaining on his contract. So I think I would err on the side of saying I like this move from the Giants a little bit more. But hey, if the Mariners can get Mitch Haniger back and really return him to his above average, maybe even all-star caliber kind of outfield play, mashing left-handed pitching and being a formidable bat in that Seattle lineup, I could like this move a lot from their side as well.
Yeah, it's definitely an upside for the Giants. I mean, feel bad for Haniger. He left and is now forced back to Seattle. But, I mean, that's where he had probably some of the best years of his career, so maybe it is a good thing that he got sent back. But it's just an upside for the Giants. I mean, once Robbie Ray comes back, hopefully he comes back to that prime Cy Young Toronto candidate, and the Giants would have kind of gained more than they lost.
Yeah. That's one that we'll have to kind of just see. It's a unique trade, though. Like you said, I think part of what had everybody so surprised with this one was you just don't see major league veterans getting flipped like this very often. It's a major league vet for two major league vets kind of trade. Usually there's prospects involved somewhere, but this one is just bigger contract for bigger contract. The Giants sent a little bit of money to Seattle as well to pay for Mitch Haniger's contract, but yeah, weird move there. We'll see what happens. I wouldn't expect that this would take the Giants out of the running for any other free agent pitchers that they've been connected to, whether that's Blake Snell or Shota Imanaga. I think the Giants should still be expected to be in on those guys because Robbie Ray's contract isn't big enough to really take them out of the running for anybody else. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. Interesting move for sure. The next one that we'll get to here also involves Seattle. It kind of went down right at the same time. Luke Raley getting traded to the Mariners with the standout rookie from Seattle last year, Jose Caballero, going to Tampa Bay. Another major leaguer for major leaguer swap, another interesting trade. These two guys are a little bit younger. Luke Raley was a rookie last year, but definitely an older one at that. But he had a really, really nice season with the Rays. Former Dodger, but got sent to Tampa Bay in exchange for a minor league pitcher, Tanner Dodson, in the Dodger system. But now going to head to Seattle. I think we talked about a little bit earlier. Seattle's rotation looks really, really good. I think that's part of why they were already feeling okay with sending away Robbie Ray. But the lineup in Seattle is what needed to be upgraded. And Luke Raley, really fast guy, good outfielder with a nice left-handed bat, is a nice addition to that outfield group in Seattle. And Jose Caballero going to the Rays. Tampa Bay's had their own issues going on this offseason. Their franchise shortstop that they thought had locked down will not be playing in the major leagues again. We're not going to get into any of that. But Jose Caballero will head to Tampa Bay with a chance to try and get a lot of innings at shortstop for the Rays next year. So, yeah, I think my first instinct is to like this move from the Mariners side the most. I'm pretty big on Luke Raley. Had a really nice year last year, but this could work out pretty well for both sides.
Yeah, I liked Luke Raley. He's just a great player overall. I think it's a great pickup for the Mariners. Fix their lineup, gives them whatever else they need from him. Caballero finally gets his shot at being a starting shortstop with the Rays, because we all know what's happening over there. Tampa Bay kind of really needed this. They're in rebuild mode, is what it looks like. I mean, they're not ready to compete for anything right now, unless they're like that sleeper team. For some reason, Tampa Bay is always in that we're rebuilding, but we're still going to make it to the playoffs, so don't count us out phase, which, again, is okay. I don't know what we're doing over there, Tampa, but, I mean, it's worked out for you to be in you got the World Series in 2020, and then you continuously made it back playoff-wise, so.
The Rays have one of the most, if not the most, unique organizational, perspectives and what they do. It's a recurring, theme. They're kind of always in a retool stage. Their payrolls run low, so trades like Tyler Glasnow, they get rid of guys before they hit free agency, but they never really fall out of contention. At least lately, they've stayed a playoff team. Year after year. Everybody knows that the Rays are one of the best organizational strategists in terms of picking up pitching or hitting. They're similar to the Dodgers in the way that they pick up guys from other places and get the best out of them and turn players' careers around. But the difference between the Dodgers and the Rays is the Dodgers keep those guys. The Rays turn players' careers around and then flip them. That's exactly what they've done with Luke Raley and what they'll attempt to do with Jose Caballero. Not to say that Caballero's been struggling. He had a really nice year in his time with Seattle last year, but, looking at the Mariners with J.P. Crawford really breaking out as their shortstop last season, I think Caballero, with the ability to play shortstop, fits a little bit better in Tampa Bay. So this is a nice move for both sides. We'll see how it works out next year, but two younger guys getting flipped mostly because of the fits with their respective organizations.
Yeah.
One more trade, also, the Rays. It seems like the Mariners and Rays both have had very busy days here today. But the Rays and Cardinals matched for a deal where the Rays sent 33-year-old veteran relief pitcher Andrew Kittredge to St. Louis in exchange for left-handed outfielder Richie Palacios. Palacios came up in August last year for St. Louis, had an 823 OPS in 32 games, so some really nice production there. He was probably slated to be a bench bat in St. Louis this year, but now he heads to Tampa Bay and will look to take the spot of Luke Raley as another left-handed outfielder to try and fill in for that position. Palacios is 26, still 6 full years of team control left, I believe, so those are the guys the Rays always target. And you never know with Tampa Bay. They could go pick up a guy who hasn't really done much for another organization, and then he could all of a sudden explode and be an all-star. So we'll have to watch what Palacios does in Tampa Bay next year.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is really great for both sides. The Cardinals finally get some pitching relief, like we've mentioned. I mean, the only team that really had stable pitching last year was the Braves. Everybody else was kind of like, ooh, are they going to get through it or are they not? So for them, good pickup, and in return, I mean, the Rays getting Palacios is great for them to fit in with that Luke Raley left-handed handers. Can't remember if the Rays had great left-handed hitting last year or who they were really focusing on, but ad's great. He had great production, so nothing but good for the Rays so far.
I think, like you mentioned, the Cardinals had a really, really big need there for a right-handed reliever in the bullpen. Kittredge has a nice track record. He's older at 33, but he came back from Tommy John surgery last year, posted a solid 3.09 ERA in 14 games in Tampa Bay last year. So it's a nice pickup there for St. Louis. I was mostly expecting them to fill that hole through free agency, but they've already struck out on a couple of the relief pitchers that have gone off the board, and I don't think they were ready to pay up for some of the other guys like Robert Stevenson or a return of Jordan Hicks to St. Louis. So this is a nice pickup for them, fills a need without giving up too much with Palacios going back. So yeah, nice pickup for St. Louis. A couple signings today too. We had Dakota Hudson and Jacob Stallings heading to Coors Field in Colorado, both on major league deals. This is the first action we've seen out of the Rockies in free agency. Very well could be the last. You never know with Colorado. But then we also saw a signing of Austin Nola going to Milwaukee on a minor league deal. So 2 signings there to round out a very, very busy day in Major League free agency.
What a weird day too to do all of this. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just
Some weird trades, weird signings. You don't
today
see
was
the
a
Rockies
weird day in the baseball world.
very
This was
much.
Very weird.
It's kind of nice though, because I think heading into free agency, the assumption was once Otani and Yamamoto are off the board, the dam will break. All the signings will start happening, and we haven't really seen that happen. So it's just nice to see some action finally, something to talk about. I was very worried
Yeah.
making the agenda for the show. I'm like, what are we going to talk about? And then this morning, I think all the GMs heard me and, got busy with all these moves.
So we gotta help Big Shot Bruce out.
All right, we'll move on here to talk about some of the guys that have yet to sign or be traded. I think Dylan Cease is the name I want to start talking about. It looks like we've seen some American League East teams get into the mix there. The Yankees, the Red Sox, the Orioles all seem like possible destinations for Dylan Cease. I want to talk about real quick on the Dylan Cease front. Jack McMullen of Just Baseball on the Just Baseball show the other day gave a point that I very much agree with, and he said that I think everybody is going to be surprised by how expensive Dylan Cease winds up being. Once he's finally dealt, I think the price that goes back to Chicago is going to be a higher price than a lot of people are assuming. Whether it's Baltimore or New York, a lot of top prospects to deal from. I would say it's unlikely to see Jason Dominguez included from the Yankees if that's where he winds up going, but I also wouldn't say it's impossible. The Orioles have a bunch of top infield prospects, the Connor Norby, guys like that. Not Jackson Holiday, he won't be included, but some of their other top guys. Dylan Cease is going to get a haul. He's got 2 years left of team control, and any team that gets him is going to be assuming they can get him back to his 2022 form, where he was really, a top 5 pitcher in baseball and a legitimate Cy Young contender. So I think Dylan Cease's market going to be really interesting to keep an eye on and see where he winds up getting traded.
Yeah, I kind of coming into free agency, I figured he was gonna be a little more pricey than really anybody else trade wise. So I don't know who's really gonna go for him. I think the White Sox are gonna be asking way too much for him, considering he posted up a 4.58 ERA last year, and I mean he had 177 innings, so that's not too bad. But I feel like they're just gonna ask way too much of him, and eventually his market's gonna close on itself, and he'll wind up staying in Chicago.
That would be, it's not impossible. It would definitely surprise me, and I think it would be a failure on the White Sox part, just because right now, as the market develops for Cease, teams can look at 2022 and say, okay, he's only a year removed from being that Cy Young type of guy, and they can bet that they can get him back there. If the White Sox keep Dylan Cease heading into the season and assume they'll trade him at the trade deadline, if Cease doesn't bounce back to that 2022 self, I think that market and the value that they'll get back for him could crash really quickly, because there's a big difference between saying, hey, he had one down year last year, not quite the same guy, compared to a whole year and a half of pitching that way. I think that'll make teams hesitate a whole lot more than they would right now. And the team control factor is a big part there too. Between 2 full years or a year and a half makes a big difference in that return as well. So I would hope that the White Sox are going to try and do everything they can to get him moved now. They're going to hold true to that stingy asking price. They want to get a haul, and I think it's deserved, but we'll have to see how that plays out. Dylan Cease, the best starter on the market now. I would say that for sure, and whoever gets him is going to be getting a really, really good pitcher. I would expect him to be moved, but we'll have to see where it winds up being too. Shane Bieber is also on the market, it sounds like, from Cleveland. I personally am a little more bullish on Bieber. I don't know if he's the guy that I would personally target if I were a GM. He's not quite looking like the same guy he was in the first couple years of his major league career. A lot of velocity and stuff, drop-offs there for Shane Bieber, but he's still a really quality starting pitcher. And with the exploding market that we've seen so far, every free agent is getting paid a ton of money on the pitching side. All the trades that are going to be happening and have happened, pretty big prices. So I think some of these teams out there that really need starting pitching, whether it's the Yankees or somewhere else, they might just have to, go to the table and say, we're going to pay what we have to pay to get a guy like Shane Bieber. And you might be paying for an ace. Even if he's not that guy, he would still fill some really quality innings. So we'll have to see how Shane Bieber's market develops. That might fall into place a little bit better once Dylan Cease has been moved and can kind of establish a better groundwork for the price that teams are going to have to pay on the trade market for pitchers.
Yeah, Bieber hasn't had close to of a great season as what he did in 2020. Then again, it was shortened, so you can't. I always take a lot of statistics from 2020 with a little bit of kind of like 60 games out of what they normally do 162 wise. But his next best year was 2022. I mean, he posted up, I think it was like a 2-something ERA, almost a 3 ERA, which was career low besides that 2020 season. So maybe he is just 1 year from fixing it all up and maybe being worth something again.
Yeah, I think his stuff dropping off, the fastball velocity, has been the main red flag for me. But if he can bounce back and, get the velo back, he could really explode and become one of the better pitchers in the game again. As for the free agent market, we'll go through these names real quick before we get out of here. We've got Cody Bellinger, Blake Snell, both Scott Boras clients that are up at the top of the market right now. Bellinger seems like that his market hasn't quite developed the way that I kind of expected it to. I think the Cubs make a lot of sense for him to return back there. They still could have a need and a possible match, but I don't know if he's going to get $200 million. Like, it seems like
That's
Scott
ridiculous.
Boras is standing pretty still on. He wants $200 million for Cody Bellinger. We'll have to see if he gets it, but I would be surprised a little bit at this point, just with the lack of teams that are really competing for Bellinger's services at this point. I thought the Blue Jays made sense, and they went and got Kevin Kiermaier back. I don't know. The Giants got Jung-Hoon Lee. I would be surprised if Bellinger winds up getting that type of price tag.
Yeah, 200. I'm not gonna lie, loved Cody Bellinger, still do, but 200 million for what he's been playing as of recently is not worth it. I would understand if this was the Belly versus Yelly type of Belly, but it's not anymore. 200 million is a ridiculous ask for someone who is kind of under right now. He's underproducing everything that he's been doing. So that's just. But again, it is Scott Boras, so there's not much you could say about that. That dude is just always like money, 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 money. 200 million is just a lot for Bellinger, and I think that's why his market is so small, because teams are like, I'm not paying 200 million for that.
We've seen multiple teams pivot elsewhere already, like you mentioned with Toronto, with San Francisco. I think that's a sign of teams are a little bit, reluctant to pay that price. And I think ultimately with Bellinger, if you were able to guarantee that you're getting last year's Cody Bellinger, 2023, then yeah, $200 million, totally worth it. But there's just so much risk involved with Bellinger. His exit velocity numbers weren't quite at where they've been before last year, even with the success. So I just think the teams are pretty hesitant to pay out a $200 million contract that could blow up in their faces, is how I look at it. And I think Blake Snell has a somewhat similar kind of reluctance from teams. I think he's also looking for $200 million on the starting pitching market. And there's more risk there than I think a lot of teams are willing to really go to the table and commit to. Snell, I still wouldn't be surprised if he does get that $200 million, just coming off of an NL Cy Young win, his second Cy Young in his career. I think Heyman the other day reported that the Yankees were in on Blake Snell pretty heavily. I still think the Giants could be a team that makes sense for him as well. But his market's definitely developing slower than I expected it to, just like Bellinger's.
Yeah, I could see him getting shy of 200, but I don't think he'll get the 200.
Interesting. Another lefty starter, Shota Imanaga, sounds like that his market is he's gonna have to sign somewhere here pretty soon. I think we've got 5 days left until his posting period ends, and if he isn't signed by then he has to stay in Japan. So he'll be signed by then. So Shota Imanaga news should be coming out pretty fast. I think Giants still a good match there, possibly the Angels. Same thing for Blake Snell with Anaheim. Jordan Montgomery, another lefty too, return to the Yankees maybe, possibly. I don't really see the Dodgers as being in on any of these guys. They've just spent too much money, and I think at this point for a number 5 starter, they can look at Emmett Sheehan and say, okay, we're good rolling there. They've also got Landon Knack, Nick Frasso, River Ryan in AAA, all ready to contribute as well. So I think we saw yesterday in a report by Ken Rosenthal that the Dodgers might still look to add another starter. but I don't think they have to. And with the amount of money that these three guys that we just mentioned, and Snell, Imanaga, and Montgomery, are going to wind up getting, I would be a little surprised to see the Dodgers pony up that much cash for, a number 5 starter kind of role.
Yeah, we don't. I'm gonna be honest. We don't need it right now. We need to focus on a closer. Is one of our other issues. But I think we could fix that internally. I like to see Brusdar Graterol take over that spot. He'd be really great in that position, coming in for like 1 to 2 innings. He doesn't have like a huge arsenal of pitches. He throws obviously his fastball, which he's very known and loved for, and a couple others. So I feel like he'd be great in that position. I don't think we need to go out and purchase anybody else as of right now. So I think Dodgers are pretty much set.
I think the Dodgers, if there's one thing that I would like to see them address, it would be to go get a right-handed bat, likely an outfielder. I think that there's a couple guys. Teoscar Hernandez has been connected to the Dodgers pretty heavily. Tommy Pham is another one that I know from my own sources that they have had multiple discussions with Tommy Pham. I don't know if anything's close, but we'll see if anything happens there. But a right-handed bat to really counter some of these left-handed starters that they might face in the playoffs, and as they get deeper into games, might make sense. It's a pretty left-handed heavy lineup for the Dodgers right now. So I think a right-handed bat is where I'd like to see them focus. The pitching side of things, I think, is pretty set. You mentioned the closer. I think Evan Phillips can take that role pretty well. But for the most part, I would expect the Dodgers to continue to move further and further away from the traditional closer role. Roll out the best guy in terms of matchups is what I'd expect them to do. They've also been connected to Josh Hader, though. And if they get Josh Hader, then it would be a return to the traditional closer role based on how Hader demanded to be used in San Diego last year. No more than 1 inning stints and only in save opportunities. I don't know if that was just a result of his impending free agency or if that would continue, but Hader's going to get a lot of money too, and it would surprise me a little bit if the Dodgers were willing to go north of $100 million for him, but yeah, we'll see. Hader's market has been another one that it seems like not a lot of information is being released about where he might wind up signing, because I think a lot of teams are apprehensive about paying that much money for a closer in this current landscape of the game where relief pitchers have just been undervalued year after year. But yeah, Hader is another one to watch. All right, real quick before we get out of here. Promised earlier we were going to talk about Roki Sasaki. Just turned 22 in November. He's already one of the best pitchers in the world. He pitched in the World Baseball Classic for Japan and looked dominant. This guy's fastball and splitter are already 2 of the best pitches on planet Earth, and he just turned 22. I think the main concern with Sasaki coming over to the major leagues for most people is his durability. He hasn't really shown a full workload yet, and he's had a little bit of arm trouble in Japan as his team has held him back from really gaining a full starter's workload because of his age. So that's something that I would be a little bit concerned about, and his development of a third pitch. He has a slider that kind of has some gyro kind of movement. It performed well in Japan, but not totally sure how it would translate to the major leagues. Ultimately, if Roki Sasaki decides to come over to the major leagues next year, the report from Showtime News, a Japanese news outlet, is that he negotiated a clause into his contract similar to the one that Shohei Ohtani had back in 2017, that as soon as he wants to come to the major leagues, his team has to post him when he asks them to. If that's true, it sounds like he might be coming over next year, in which case he would be limited to a minor league deal and IFA bonus money, which would basically mean that all 30 teams could be in on him. So if that happens, it's going to be really interesting to see where he winds up going. Financial stuff won't be a holdback for anybody, so we'll have to see what happens there. But with that, sorry I can't let you give anything there. We're out of time.
We're good.
But thank you so much for listening. Make sure to follow our socials, 22 West LB and 22 West Sports LB, and join us for the next episode. Thank you so much for being here, and it's great to be back. Have a good weekend.
I gotta get to it. I got the time, but I gotta get moving. I don't have time to be playing with you. This is no time to be playing it stupid. Could be the difference from winning and losing. Could be the difference from hundreds or millions. If we do business, I'm comfortable chilling. Other than that, I'm not posting a minute. Run me the bag or run away quickly. Crunch time, my time's not to be wasted. Win, lose, draw, I am not playing. In my lane, out the way is the safest.